Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. I have always believed that everybody has a story. No matter who we are, what our age is, or where we come from, we all have a story. And we all want the chance to tell our story and for our story to be heard. And what a story this YouTube channel has become, giving everybody a chance to showcase their passion for Descendants of Zombies and to share in their story with millions of people who watch these videos every day. If you have seen something special on every video that I've had the honor to create and upload for you guys inspired by your favorite characters and all these moments that have made you a fan of Descendants of Zombies, I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. This YouTube channel sees over 1,000 views per day, 10,000 views per month, and over 4,000 people just about have subscribed here to this YouTube channel, having made it everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, quite possibly of all time. I always wanted to go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time. I had no idea how I was going to do that through resonating with my thoughts and predictions on a franchise or franchises such as Descendants of Zombies, but lo and behold, here we are today. Less than 2 years ago, I launched this YouTube channel as one of my latest projects, never imagining that it would become such a huge phenomenon for every fan of Descendants of Zombies that would hold a very special close place in their heart for this channel. And it blows my mind every day the analytics that this YouTube channel is suggesting 10,000 views per month. I can't even believe that. And 1,000 views per day is what that averages out to be. And it's because of how much you guys love Kylie Cottrell, Ruby Rose Turner, Malia Baker, who I think are some of the strongest people in the world. That's the one thing that you guys have got to know about me. I think they are the strongest and certainly the most fearless people in the world. They are there for each other every step of the way. And I think that's why we're seeing some of the most beautiful friendships of all time created and kind of just happening for Descendants of Zombies without any explanation having been offered. Some of the most beautiful friendships of all time are happening because of Descendants of Zombies and how passionate we feel about it. I've shared stories with you guys about how I first became involved with professional sports like pro wrestling and UFC and had the chance to interview many of my idols through podcasts that I would host. I first became involved with the pro wrestling industry in 1999, and after 430 views were seen on one of my latest Descendants of Zombies videos, my stories from my passions about pro wrestling, which eventually became Disney, which eventually became Descendants of Zombies, were heard by more people than ever before, with 15 likes and over almost 500 views on that video. Thank you so much for that, because that shows to me that you guys have chosen this YouTube channel time and time again as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, something I certainly never thought possible would happen for me, because I was pretty much just a loser before you guys entered my life, and I had the chance to share with you my story about how I was passionate about Disney franchises of the past, which eventually became Descendants of Zombies. I've witnessed so many incredible moments because of Disney's legacy. I've seen over 900 concert performances done by Disney concerts, and one of the greatest of all time happened to be the Worlds Collide Tour from this past summer, making it the greatest summer of my life, having the chance to review it. And you guys really did fall in love with these videos. Last summer I wanted to create something special, and I wanted to be a part of it, and I had the chance to become a part of it because of how much you believed in me and you believed in this YouTube channel. I became a trusted voice for Descendants of Zombies. And the funny thing was, I never seemed to know what was going to happen with Descendants of Zombies because I never know what's coming next. You know, I'm just like going to see a movie and never expecting to see in the previews what you see. And the thing is, I've always had fun giving you my predictions and breaking down these franchises the way they've forever and always been meant to be presented, forever analyzed and broken through. Having the chance to meet thousands of people is an opportunity that I would love to take myself upon, because I think that you guys never have enough opportunities to really get to know these stars for who they are. So because of my background in journalism, I wanted to give something special back to every single person who may have ever watched one of my videos and give you hope, if anything, for that foreseeable future, because many people who review Descendants of Zombies never seem to give you that, because that's all you've ever wanted, is just hope that Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is eventually going to come to be, or Zombies 5 is going to happen, because the one thing that I've always wanted to ensure you guys is going to happen and that you're going to see is Zombies 5 or Descendants 5. We just don't know when it's going to happen. We know it's going to drop sometime between now and next summer, but we never seem to have the answers to the questions that we want to have answers to, and as a result of that, we're feeling as if we're left in the dark. But I've often used this old analogy, you're never afraid of the dark, you're just afraid of what you can't see. And I think as our questions become more clearly with answers, as we etch ever closer to the release window of Descendants 5, Book of Wonderland, and eventually Zombies 5, whenever it's going to drop sometime between now and 2028, and I know that feels like forever away for a lot of people who really don't understand just how far apart these release windows are. Usually it's a gap between 2 and 3 years, because I know Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, Zombies 3 happened in 2022, and it wasn't until 2025 we saw a sequel, Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, and now we're left in the dark again with even more questions than perhaps ever before about what's going to happen next for Freya Sky and Malachi Burton's characters Victor and Nova, which I really believe is going to be a beautiful love story. And I know that I may have been involved in professional sports for years, but the thing was my greatest passion came from being a fan of Disney. And the funny thing was about being involved in professional sports like professional wrestling and UFC, there were more people than ever given credit for that had that same passion. I knew many girls in the wrestling industry that were very passionate about Disney, but because of restrictions in WWE and UFC, they could never showcase it. I knew a girl who worked with wrestling. Her name was Alexa Bliss for many years, and she wanted to write the aspect of Disney into her character. She wanted to be a Tinkerbell-like character. And I remember the executives at WWE saying this was never going to work, so they denied her the opportunity of writing the aspect of her being a Disney fan into her in-ring persona. So many people would choose to leave the wrestling industry because they had passions for animation, or they had passions for Disney and Nickelodeon, which sometimes a lot of people were never given enough credit for or shown enough respect. So I used to be the co-host of a lot of wrestling shows over the years, so as a result of that, I would have to put over the host of the show or whoever we were interviewing, and I had to script a lot of interviews where the greater appreciation always came from me wanting to have interviews between two people who may have been the best of friends for the rest of their lives. And the thing is, when you have an interview with two people who seem to be the best of friends for their entire lives, like you see Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky having the chance to do all the time, you take away a greater appreciation for that. So when I finally had the chance to go out on my own and I broke away from the wrestling industry for the first time in 2018, I finally had the chance to showcase my passions about pop culture, about everything related to Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Miranda Cosgrove, Victoria Justice, who I was very fond of, Ariana Grande, who I was also very fond of, and it eventually became Descendants of Zombies after a girl showed up at my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters who I can never seem to give enough praise and thanks to for giving me the chance to showcase my passion for Descendants of Zombies, which became something far greater than ever before. You know, in high school, I was dealing with a lot of peer pressure. I was bullied a lot of the time. A lot of people never could make sense of how I felt very passionate about professional sports, which eventually became Disney. And I wanted to showcase that, and I wanted to be heard by more people than ever before. And having the chance to tell you guys how I was a fan of somebody like Kylie Cantrell, who I forever thought was the strongest person in the world, who I forever thought was fearless, was a huge chance for me, because now more people on YouTube know who I am, and more people have heard my story about how I was so passionate about the Descendants of Zombies merch, the special events, the premieres of these movies, which became one of the most successful franchises of all time. For many years, I was a huge fan of Kenny Ortega's work for High School Musical and Hocus Pocus, which many of you are probably too young to remember because Hocus Pocus was first released in 1993. Hocus Pocus 2 is a far cry from what the original Hocus Pocus was, because Bette Midler's portrayal of one of the witches, one of the threesome, and Sarah Jessica Parker was a performance that I never ever forgot. I was very fond of Kenny Ortega's work, so when I heard the news about how Disney was releasing Descendants and going to be taking full advantage of this, really capitalizing on an opportunity, and boy did they ever capitalize on an opportunity, for the opportunity to create merch, to advertise Descendants of Zombies with a very phenomenal promotional campaign, and to capitalize on it with events like the Worlds Collide Tour, which I predict by late 2026 is going to see a leg 2, which I'm really excited about, giving you more of a chance overseas to experience Descendants of Zombies in a whole new way and a whole new light, because I've always believed that exposure for Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky can be a good thing. And if I was ever going to be a part of these conversations, it was going to have to be something nice, because I heard stories about how Kylie Cantrell was very emotionally connected to her fans and how she was always feeling heartbroken because she was missing her friends, and her political point of view had been taken out of context because many people believed that she was a Donald Trump supporter. And I think that how people felt about Kylie Control really made Kylie Control feel the way that she did, and it was completely uncalled for, because I think that how people may have felt about Kylie Control has never been really a reflection on who Kylie Control is as a person, because I'm going to tell you guys something. Kylie Control, if you're a super fan of Kylie Control, you already know this, but there are people out there who may never have known this. Kylie Control is a very beautiful person. She is one of the strongest people that I've ever seen have the opportunity to work with Disney. You know, Miley Cyrus had the opportunity to work with Disney years ago, and I remember Emily Osmond struggling with having to attend public school with keeping up with the pressure of being a star on Disney Channel. Of course, she was Lily Truscott on the successful series Hannah Montana. And I remember how Emily always had to struggle with going to public school and dealing with the pressures and the peer pressure that came with being a Disney star. And I remember having so much respect for Emily Osmond because she was never given enough credit, because it seemed like Miley Cyrus was always stealing the thunder from every star on the Hannah Montana TV series, and she was often credited for the profound success of Hannah Montana. She was just recently honored for being a Disney legend. You know, I would love to have these conversations about Kylie Control for many years to come. I think that Kylie has forever been a strong person. I think that Ruby is the most beautiful person ever, certainly one of the most sweetest, and I think we can all learn from these stars, which we obviously have, because we're seeing far more kinder people in this world because of what we've taken away from Descendants of Zombies, because no matter who we are, no matter what our age or where we come from, we've all taken something special away from Descendants of Zombies. I know I certainly have. While I may never be able to speak for every other YouTube columnist out there, I've always taken something special away from every franchise that I've ever had the chance to experience or to have been a part of, and we all got to be a part of something special through sharing our stories. Because I not only had the chance to share my story with you, you guys had the chance to share your story with me. And to be honest with you guys, this is a story that I've fallen in love with, and if I could have my time back, if I could go back in time, I would relive this experience all over again, just to have the chance to meet you guys and hear about how passionate you felt about Descendants of Zombies, because we all came together and truly created something special and gave something special back because they really needed it. I think we can never show enough love and support for our favorite stars because they've really come a long way, but even with how far they've come, they have that much further to go. When my nephew was born over 15 years ago, I remember having this conversation with my dad when he was about 2 years old, and we both agreed that he still had a long way to go. And I think that there are a lot of people who watch these videos every day that fall into that same category. They never seem to realize how precious time is or how much further they have yet to go in life. You guys still have a long way to go, and what your favorite stars are figuring out are their place in the world. Because can you imagine being 15 years old and performing in front of 19,000 people like Freya Sky does every second or third night of her life? At the Worlds Collide Tour, venues were sold out. Between 19 and 20,000 people, jam-packed venues for the Worlds Collide Tour, because Disney always goes big. Disney always has a way of going big or going home. And the pressure that they were under was truly insurmountable, and I could never seem to compare it to anything that I may have ever experienced, because having the chance to see them see so much exposure and yet so much exposure to come, I couldn't help but feel for them. Freya Sky was a girl, Kylie Control also, were going home crying because of videos that people were uploading on YouTube less than 1 hour after they performed, and I had issues with that. So I let it be known that I just wanted to create something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, to let them know that their contributions would never ever be forgotten, and that I, along with thousands of people who love my videos, would forever support them, because we can never seem to see enough endless love and support for your favorite stars, because they are undeniably beautiful, they are overflowing with talent, and they deserve to showcase that along with their passions. I've never really cared if Freya Sky loves to get a plain cheeseburger at 3 o'clock in the morning at McDonald's, because I've done it many years. All the years that I was involved with professional sports as members of the ring crew and the sound technicians and being a DJ, I would be seen at the drive-thru at McDonald's getting either a personal-sized pizza, which is no longer a part of the menu, or a plain cheeseburger at McDonald's myself. So I felt really relatable when it came to Freya Sky and how she felt about all these things she was having to deal with. Even with how much pressure Freya Sky and Kylie Control are under, they always take the time to relate to you guys. And that is something I have a lot of respect for these stars for having done, because when they take the chance to connect with you, to let you know how they're feeling, and even share their tears with each and every one of you, how can you not have time in respecting that? How can you not have a greater deal of respect for them for having to go through that? Because The reality of this is when the cameras are turned off, they are just like each and every one of us. They are still the strongest people in the world, but we never seem to take into consideration nor appreciate how much pressure they are under. Because if many of us were under that same amount of pressure, we'd probably crack under it. I remember years ago when Demi Lovato tried and tried and tried, and she could never deal with the pressure of it, so she had to take a back seat to everything happening with Disney. She had to leave her show, Sunny with a Chance, behind her, which eventually was revamped into So Random. And I couldn't help but feel for Demi Lovato. And then I saw Demi Lovato become involved in mixed martial arts to discipline herself to become a stronger person. And she really did become a stronger person. And when Kylie Cantrell had to deal with the pressure of being involved with the Descendants franchise, she took up weightlifting to achieve some form of discipline in her lifetime. And many of you probably don't know this, but Ruby Rose Turner also had to take up mixed martial arts to become more disciplined and to become a stronger person. When I heard the story of how Ruby Rose Turner had taken up MMA to achieve discipline in her life and become a more disciplined and stronger person, I had a profound amount of respect for what they were putting themselves through, these boot camps, the weightlifting. It really inspired me to get back in the gym and start working out more, and I've done it. I've been lifting weights ever since I was 13 years old. I never really did it on a regular basis for many years, and I finally picked it up again because of how much inspiration I drew from your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Point being, we've all taken something special away from Descendants of Zombies and a great deal of inspiration, and far more inspiration than we've probably ever been given credit for. I've loved the opportunity to meet each and every one of you. I've loved having the chance to be a part of this and present it for how it is and how I feel about it, because with me, what you see is what you get, and that's far from every other YouTube creator out there. While I can't speak for them, I present these videos very differently because I've always wanted to connect with you guys. I wanted to connect with you on a professional level, and I had the chance to do that. And I think that if more people would take themselves up on the opportunity to get to meet you guys and understand you for the fans of Descendants of Zombies that you are, we would quickly realize more often than enough that the Descendants of Zombies fans are some of the strongest, some of the smartest, some of the most educated fans, and some of the most far more respected fans in the world. This is the most respectful fandom that I've ever had the opportunity to create videos for, and I have a lot of respect for your favorite stars and a lot of respect for you. And I've just wanted to give something special back to each and every one of you as a result of that, and to forever feel a part of something special, and I had the chance to do that. I never knew how I was going to be able to resonate with thousands of people, but having a chance to share with you my story about how I was a fan of Descendants of Zombies has been a profound honor that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart, because I know that we are stronger together, and we are becoming stronger every single time that we have these conversations as we continue to give hope to people who believe in these franchises with all of their hearts and have forever and always taken something special away from it. We may never know when Zombies 5 is coming or when Descendants 5 with Wonderland is going to drop, but we do know it's going to happen sometime between now and next summer, and I'm looking forward to sitting in this chair and being a part of it with each and every one of you, and I'm inviting you to come along on what's really been an unforgettable journey for me. Having the chance to share with you my story about being a fan of Descendants of Zombies and having the chance to meet each and every one of you. These are conversations that I look forward to and have forever and always cherished. And I wish more people would take themselves the opportunity to realize just how much profound chance talking about Descendants of Zombies with you while relating to you and presenting relatable content, putting your art out in an art gallery for people to walk through on YouTube. Because the reality of it is, once you put your art out there, it's no longer your art. It becomes the art of every fan of Descendants of Zombies who appreciate it, and they appreciate how you feel about it. And you can give it a 5-star rating, even a 10-star rating, perhaps even an 11. The thing is, these stars deserve all the respect in the world and far more credit than ever given. And I think if we can give that to them while showing them respect and never having any regrets, that's what makes being a fan of Descendants of Zombies so special. So if you've ever believed in Freya Sky or loved Kylie Control with all of your heart, I invite you to join me on this journey, because this journey is one that's far from over, a story that has never been told and feels as if it's completed, because I've never wanted to say goodbye, and I'm sure you're somebody who's never wanted to say goodbye, so why do we really have to say goodbye while we can offer someone encouragement that there is a future coming for Descendants of Zombies, and it's going to happen? Because if you've ever believed in anything in your life, I think Descendants of Zombies presents you with the chance to believe in something special and to hold on to and really never let go of. So why do we have to? Why can't we just live for the moment? Because life really is too short, and really enjoy being fans of Descendants of Zombies and feel passionate about what we share in, which is obviously something very sentimental to millions of people. Thank you for having loved and supported every video that I've ever had the chance to create and upload for each and every one of you. Thank you for being stronger as a solemn community together as we continue to show our love and support for Descendants of Zombies, which has come a long way in just a short amount of time, but we still have a long way to go, and I'm excited to be a part of this journey, truly an unforgettable one at that, with each and every one of you. I've loved having the chance to record, edit, produce, and upload these videos for thousands of people, if never millions, who love this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to have touched each and every one of your hearts, because we are stronger together as fans of Descendants of Zombies who love this YouTube channel so much. And thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time from 2015 and beyond. From 2015 to 2026, this story is far from over, because it's never had to be over, and it's something. It's really history that we are all going to be a part of, and I couldn't be more excited to share in that with each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and most of all, thank you so much for having watched this video.